Bantry Bay is where the owner of this terraced getaway comes to escape the business of life. Dispensing with shiny or glossy materials, architect Larry Levy and interior designer Abby van Wyk conceived these spaces to provide a sense of natural, easy calm.
Larry, this whole area is known for its beautiful landscapes, but how did you design the home to maximize on the views and topography?
When we first saw the site, we knew that it was an absolute fit for the client. We fell in love with the site. So we decided that in order to capitalize on the views, we would have to terrace the building. And that is in fact what makes the house quite unique, is that every single room in the house has actually got a sea view.
And that's where we've introduced the timber screens, where you'll also see the ocean, but it also blocks out the neighbors.
The minute I walked in here, I noticed a prominent amount of pink light, but yet no light fittings.
We have an incredible relationship with our client, and as the project developed, we got closer and closer to him. And one day we were sitting in a meeting with him and we were discussing colors, and I was very much, everything was being neutral and pared down, and he suddenly said, well, I like pink. And we decided to make pink a big feature in the home, but in a very subtle way. So we've used pink glass that the light shines through and washes down one of the most important features of the home, which is a wall, which is a spine that runs through the house.
The combination of natural timber with stone was chosen to reflect the homeowner's love of Southern Africa, and the organic feel has been subtly paired with modern design.
Raoul, this is actually one of my favorite spaces in the house, even though it's a non-space. It's just part of an extension of the staircase, but what I love about it is that it just pops out over the garden, and because it's got this glazing, you can actually see down into the garden and you get this feeling like you're floating. And I just love the way the off-shutter concrete came out. Even though it wasn't perfect, I think that's what makes it beautiful.
And we had fun choosing this piece from Tonic. It sets off nice from the off-shutter concrete.
Through the build, the homeowner often visited from Germany, taking motorbike rides or going fishing with his architecture and design team. The house embodies that celebration of life.
Wow, I love how the space opens up and it's inviting me right onto the ocean.
Yes, so Raoul, when entertaining, it's very important that your outside spaces and your inside spaces connect, and that was very important to the client. And also the views are not too shabby.
Not shabby at all. I would love to come home to a space like this. Gives me that real feeling of calmness.
Our client actually lives overseas, so he comes here for a retreat, and it was important that we gave him that space that was calm, so that when he came here, he felt relaxed. And to achieve this, we chose materials in architecture and the interiors. We chose very calming, neutral palette textures. But not only that, we actually employed an acoustic engineer to make sure that no outside sounds or noise pollution infiltrated the space.
The natural, neutral materials allow the client's African wood and stone pieces to shine. It's a collection which he and Larry flew to Joburg to find.
And amongst all that natural material you've used, I can't help but notice that pop of color behind me in the patio.
Yes, so Raoul, the seas have a different moods, and the colors always change. And so we've thought to incorporate that into the textures and the hues and the fabrics of blues in the outside area.
Well, the space seems perfect for entertaining too, especially with that sleek modern design of that kitchen.
I live vicariously through my client when we designed that kitchen, because I love to cook and I like to eat. So when we designed that, we just wanted it to be as functional as possible by concealing as much as possible. The fridge is integrated, and in fact the whole coffee station opens up, but when it's closed it just looks like paneling.
The island is a pop of black with a near-lit countertop and a mild steel front with LED glows around it.
The benefit of being both the architects and interior designers on the project was that Larry and Abby could choose interior items throughout the 3-year building process. The structure, lighting, fabrics, furniture, art and gardens could evolve as one.
Well, these steps really have an extra sense of character, from these light fittings over here to this green space. It's incredible.
So light actually plays quite an important role in the staircase. These lights are purpose designed and made for the space. We wanted you to be able to experience as you walk down to see the sculptural impact of these lights. They are also suspended from an atrium which creates natural light. We also have these floor lights which look like piano keys.
Yeah.
The idea of the atrium is because we felt that we had taken away quite a lot of the landscaping and we wanted to bring it into the home. So wherever we could, we brought in some greenery.
It isn't all zen and serenity. The bar, cigar lounge, home theatre and jacuzzi are not quiet places.
I can imagine quite a few parties have gone down over here.
I'm sure that there have been. When we discussed the brief with the client, he suggested that we separate the guest bedrooms from the master suite because his children are actually grown and they're university age. So I imagine that they would be coming home a little bit later and they would want to party a little bit longer. So we incorporated this space into the guest bedroom suite.
With statement leather safari-style chairs and a light, textured minimalist theme, the guest suites evoke the savanna, bush and deserts of southern Africa.
I noticed you used a different color scheme to what you did upstairs.
With this area, you have a lot more African popping. So we have our brass finishes, our bronze mirror finishes, and our dusty pink textures.
We decided that we felt we wanted it to look more like a cigar lounge, kind of smoky brown, a little bit darker, a little bit more cozy, but then we also wanted to use the pink again. And the brass is muted and it has an African feel, but it's also very cigar lounge.
One of the standout features of this floor has got to be that jacuzzi. Why, though, is it the perfect spot?
One of the reasons why we chose that spot was we just saw this incredible view that was framed already by borrowed vegetation. And we saw the opportunity architecturally to actually create a frame. So the jacuzzi is actually situated almost in a wooden box. And then we detailed the sunken seating area, which our interior department then chose the fabrics for.
Yes. So for the jacuzzi, we opted with both greys and blacks and white, again with African textures and patterns. So that would pop against the ocean. And then we also use the LED light strip in the timber cladding.
Surrounded by so much natural wood, the elevator is about the only glossy steel element to be found. Add the extensive garden features throughout, coupled with the ocean views, and the structure feels part of the scenery, not man-made.
I believe this home has 2 master bedrooms, but have they been done exactly the same?
No, actually they're quite different. This one's a little bit more masculine, and we chose dark, leathery, muted tones and offset that with jewel colors, using some handmade felt for the cushions and the throw. Even the bathroom is black slate, which is very dark and gentlemanly, and it has brass finishes, so it's quite luxurious. And then the other bedroom is a lot more feminine. We chose pale colors, pale grays and warm timbers and some dusty pinks, very soft, muted tones, more gentle, calm.
The architecture is made to feel far lighter by using untinted shades of wood as accents or as a complete theme in the study. Complemented by exterior designer Brett Chilcott's indigenous gardens, floating over the sea views, the effect is one of African Zen.
Can you tell me more about the beautiful green spaces that you've incorporated into the design of this home?
The client asked us to maximize the impact of these green spaces, and he wanted to be connected both physically and visually through all the levels of the garden. So from the unexpected sunken entrance garden, and the terraces provide a lush and calm backdrop. And as you descend down the levels, the trees provide screening as well as give a sense of scale and proportion to the home as well as the adjacent buildings.
I'm noticing more and more rooftop gardens, but why, in your opinion, are they becoming so popular?
I think as our city living is changing and densification increases, the traditional garden spaces are getting smaller and smaller. And our clients still want these green spaces and appreciate the value that they add both aesthetically and emotionally to their lives and to their experience. Not only is there the obvious visual appeal to them, but they help with building heat flux, they reduce stormwater runoff, and provide natural habitat, which is often lost during the construction process.
Thank you guys so much for showing me around this incredible home, and well done on executing on a brilliant masterpiece.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for having us.
In an area where steel and glass have long ruled, this design team have left a softer, more serene footprint on the Atlantic shore, and others are sure to follow.